Happy Tuesday! It's time for Stories with Sarah Lizabeth. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope y'all had a wonderful holiday. You know, I'm a little late to the party today posting this video because I actually took yesterday off. Can you believe it, y'all? That never happens. So, but it was good. I enjoyed the holiday and spent time with friends, and it was a good time. And this morning, I took some time for me. And you know how I've told you that you gotta take care of you first. And it's not a selfish thing, it's a self-love thing. And so this morning I was on a trail run. So I'm a little late recording this and getting it posted today. And on the run, I was listening to a podcast of giving. And you know, I feel like giving might be one of my, love languages, or I think maybe all of them are my love language actually. But I was listening to this podcast, and it was kind of, I was also thinking about what I was going to talk to y'all about today. And in the definition of give is to freely transfer. So there's nothing that you're going to get out of it. You give a gift freely. And that's what makes it a gift. And so then it kind of got me thinking about what I wanted to talk to y'all about. And I have been fortunate enough to witness so many wonderful couples give each other amazing gifts on the day of. And I thought, well, I could combine it, but it would be like 45 minutes of a video, and I can't do that. So I'm gonna do a few weeks of sharing with you some stories about couples that have given each other some funny gifts, some sweet gifts, and but every gift was given freely. And that's the beauty in it. And that's, when you're able to do that, and when you're able to, seek out a need that someone has, there is real freedom in that. And so I encourage y'all to do that this week, is to give someone a gift. If it's time, if it's your talent, if it's actually something, physically that they need, you will benefit more from that than they could ever possibly benefit from. So I hope y'all enjoy the next few weeks of hearing about some stories of gifts that bride and grooms have given each other on their wedding day. All right, so let me start by giving you a little history on this couple. They were amazing, which so many of my couples are. I've been so fortunate to serve for 12 years in Nashville, and I get so lucky to be able to, learn about the couples and be a part of their life, and then watch their lives after their wedding day, because there is life after your wedding day, and it should be hopefully better than your wedding day. So anyways, this couple, they were high school sweethearts, and they both had been married, post high school and college. They kind of lost touch, and they married other people. Unfortunately, they ended up getting divorced from those people, and their paths were reunited later in life. And so they had a sweet story. They had lots of really funny pictures from when they were in high school and dated, and it was really neat to see love that was brought back together again. That was really special. And so they had purchased property, and they were gonna get married right where there was nothing on the property except for a barn, kind of like a workshop space. And they built this beautiful arch and put it out right where they were gonna have the front door of their house. So they got married right where they eventually ended up building their house and their front door. So I thought that was super cool, the location of the ceremony. And so it was really neat to be a part of their day, because we saw kind of like redemption in their love story. And so I enjoyed getting to know them and being a part of their big day. But I didn't expect anything less than epic for the gift that they gave each other. So this story is specifically about the gift that the bride gave the groom. And it is a gift that just keeps on giving on. So as y'all know, I don't just do the planning for my events. I do so much more. I do all the flowers and decor. And in one of our planning meetings, the bride had said to me, do you know of anyone that could take some pictures of me that I could give to him? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I've got lots of photographers, and I mean, your photographer probably could. So I was just thinking, you know, okay, pictures of the bride. But, you know, she had other things in mind, like, you know, pictures of her, you know, dressed in appropriate attire for husband and wife and what husband and wives do. And so she wanted some lingerie photos. And I was like, all right then, let's do this. And, you know, so I connected her with the photographer, and, you know, they had a very great session of, you know, taking photos of herself in lingerie for him. So, you know, this was kind of a really popular thing about 5 years ago, that this would be given kind of as a gift to the groom. And I'm like, more power to you. I mean, that's great. Way to go. So we got her hooked up with the photographer, and they had their photo session, and the book was being made. We get to the day of the wedding, and honestly, y'all, I mean, this was months before the wedding day that she had asked me about this, so I had kind of forgotten. So we're going through the day, you know, I'm setting up with my team all the, you know, tables and chairs and linens and china and flowers and draping and lighting and decor. And I go and, you know, check in on her, make sure she's doing okay. And she says, hey, they had chosen to do a first look. Now, sidebar on first look. Do not be bullied into doing a first look if you want your first look to be when you walk down the aisle. And my photographer friends will say, oh, oops, scratch right now. Like, Sarah, you're not giving good advice right now, because it does help with the logistics of, you know, the photos being all done prior to the ceremony and everything. And I get that. But if you have a good planner and you have a good team, you can actually have that first look when you walk down the aisle, and you don't need to do it beforehand. But I get the thing about photographers, so often if there's not a planner or there's not a team on site, then they often become that person. And that is not in the job description of shooting a wedding, but they often have to fill those roles. So I understand it, but they were actually going to do a first look, which was great and wonderful, and whatever the client wants, like, I don't, you know, give my opinion here or there. I just give them their wedding. So they wanted a first look, and so we were getting ready for that, and I had gotten him, you know, into position at the altar, and she was gonna, you know, walk up to him and tap him on the shoulder and turn around. They were gonna have their first look. And so right before this happens, she hands me this book, and she says, hey, after we get done, like, as soon as he sees me and I turn around and we have a moment, I want you, Sarah, to bring him this book. I was like, come again? Don't you think it's a little awkward for me to, like, give him a book of you in lingerie? And so I'm holding this book, and I'm like, I send them off to do the first look, and I'm holding this book, and I'm like, do I look? I mean, I kind of want to see. And then I was like, no, that's kind of weird. I can't look at these pictures, you know? And then I'm like, no, I actually do want to see this artwork, you know? And so I open up the book, and I'm just like, this is a good gift. This is a very good gift. And I'm the one that gets to deliver it. So I was feeling pretty lucky to be able to do that. And so I send them off for their first look. He turns around, they see each other, it's magical. But I really was the one that was bringing the magic. So then I walk towards them, and I'm holding the treasure. I'm holding the gift. And I just sort of happen upon them, which typically in the first look, I'm not, they have their moment, I go away and I kind of keep everybody away from them so that they can just have their moment. But this time I was right up there in it. And so I come and I deliver this book to him and I just go, here you go. And I got to witness him, like, I kind of went to turn around and I was like, no, I gotta experience this too. And he's sitting there and he starts opening this book, and y'all, he got as red as a ripe, ready to pluck from the vine tomato. It was like, whoop, fire engine red face. And he just like, his face when he saw this book was just like, oh my. And I was like, that's right, oh my, and it's yours to look at whenever you want. And so I ended up just witnessing, like, I just wanted to see his face, and I got to see all of his face. And then I turned around and walked towards the back where they could kind of have a moment. And it was great. So they sit down and they start to look through the book together. And, I'm like, y'all, I don't know if they're gonna need a minute. I mean, that has happened to me before too, where couples have asked me for a minute. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you your minute. You can have it. It's your day. And so I was like, they might need a minute after this. So I kind of told my staff, I said, not exactly sure what's going to happen after I give them this gift. They did not know what the gift was. I was the only one that knew. I didn't tell them. And so I'm just like kind of observing, like, well, what's going to happen next? Are they going to need to leave for just a hot minute or what? And so they end up, shutting the book, and he stands up and they start walking towards me now. And I'm like, going through my head, I'm like, what do I say? What's the first thing that comes to mind after you receive a gift like this? And the only thing I could think of was, congrats, bro. And I was just like high-fiving him, like, way to go. And he just was like so embarrassed, and he handed me back the book. He was like, I don't even know what to do right now. And he's like, do I give this back to you? And I was like, I got this. I'll take it. I'll go put it into a private spot where no one's gonna, this isn't gonna be the guest book. We're not gonna be opening this up and signing it tonight. So I said, I'll take care of it. I'll go put it in your things, And so then I did that, and they continued on with their day. And I'm telling you, he was happy all day. And it was cool to see, because that's like a very, you just expose yourself like that. But the beauty was that it was okay, because they were married and it was a beautiful thing for them. And, it's a beautiful thing for him to have. And so it was kind of cute and kind of, neat to see that gift of just, freely giving a gift and knowing that gift was going to give back multiple times. Why that was the first story that I thought to share with you, y'all, I have no idea. Probably because it was a good one, and I hope you enjoyed it. But, whatever the gift is, and the gifts that I've gotten to witness and see, the whole point is that they were given freely. And it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to experience and do in life. So I encourage y'all this week again to do that this week, and to enjoy the rest of your week. And I look forward to sharing another story about a bride and groom that gave a gift to each other on their wedding day next week. So until then, as always, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.